sidestep all of the crazy things that I seem to step on. I tell you what, it has been a hot minute since I went live on a VO's journey. You know, I put out the videos almost daily, pretty much as I can, but definitely cut down the live. And of course, last Friday I was out with my daughter, so I had to skip that one. So it's literally been 2 weeks since I've gone live on our channel. Far too long. So I'm excited to be back. Welcome to Fiverr Friday. If you're new to the channel, thank you for joining us. And if you're not new, thank you so much for coming back. And if you don't know how this works, Fiverr Fridays are basically set up to where, I give you a little spiel, and then this is a really nice question and answer session too, because it's live. I can ask, or you can ask any questions, and I'll give you the answers, and you can make a comment or whatever. And we can have a discussion about Fiverr and how you can grow your Fiverr business. So, this is a wonderful time for me. I love it, and hopefully a very beneficial time for you as well. So welcome. And if you get a quick moment, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and share this with anybody so they can see it as well. So thank you again. All right, so let's dive into Fiverr Friday. Today's topic, and I think it's always on everybody's mind, how can I make a lot of money on Fiverr? And, there are some things that we can do to actually make more money on Fiverr than we are currently making, or that other people make. And there's a set of rules that I go by, and I want to share those with you and have a discussion with you about that. And actually, I'm going to tell you some of these things, and you really need to take a hard look at what you're doing and know that they really do make a difference. Sometimes I work with a lot of people, and, I think sometimes all of us, we're told something, hey, this is going to work, that's going to work, but we don't ever push ourselves to actually do it all. Does that make sense? Like, fill everything out. Do all the things that, that we're supposed to do, because we're like, oh, we can take a shortcut here. We can take a little bit off there. But all of this that we do online and in general and in life, I think, is cumulative. So anyways, let's dive into Fiverr. So the first things I want to talk about are the three main things that I always look at when I'm doing reviews, Fiverr reviews. So I do those on my website. You can get a Fiverr review from me. Is that I look at three different things. The first thing is, are you being found? Okay. So your impressions, just to give you some context, and I'm not saying that, there are so many people on Fiverr who make way more money than I do, but I make a lot of money, I feel, on Fiverr. So, my impressions are the first part of all of that. So are yours. So in order for us to get business at all, we have to have a lot of impressions. All right. More impressions lead to clicks. More clicks then lead to business. So getting impressions, that's the first thing on my list of three things that really matter. And to get impressions, when you're first starting out especially, you've got to use titles, tags, and writing in your description that targets what people are searching for on Fiverr. So a lot of people I see are just putting up random titles. Like I will record, or I will do a fancy voice for, they just come up with titles, random things. I did when I started, because I didn't know what I was doing. Okay, but what happens is that's not what people are searching for. A very simple way to find out what people are searching for is you go to the search button, type in some topics, or type in voiceover, type in e-learning, type in podcast, type in audiobook, type in deep mail, like deep, like different terms. And if it's being searched on a highly searched basis, it's going to fill in more, words there, right? You're going to see it just like in Google. You can do that in Google search. It's an old technique that SEO people used, and people trying to find keywords that are heavily searched without having a database, like Google Analytics and stuff to see. what people are searching, what's highly trafficked. So that's the first thing. So if you find that what you've put up, okay, is not coming up very much or your impressions because people really aren't searching for that, okay, that's something for you to look at changing. Your title. Tags, they're another thing. There's a lot of things going around with tags about should the tags on Fiverr be based off the ones from your keywords from your title, or should they be other ones? And there's many different people, Fiverr seller success coaches and different things who say, different stuff. But from my experience, I like to do both, meaning I like to make sure in my tags I have some words from my title. Okay, but I also have, you can also put words from other things maybe you're trying to target, other keywords you're trying to target. And then in the description, it's important to make sure you have those keywords in your description as well. So that when you're first starting out or you're trying to increase your impressions, if someone is searching for what for your phrase or the things that you're offering, you're going to come up. That's so important. That's impressions. That's number one. You have to do that. Now, number two is clicks. And by the way, the cool thing about Fiverr is, which no other site really does this, or does it poorly, but Fiverr does it really well, is the analytics, right? I love the analytics that Fiverr offers. It really is something special, I think. So the clicks now we're on to, right? So impressions lead to clicks. Now, if you are not getting a lot of clicks, but let's say you're getting a lot of impressions, or you want to increase your clicks, we need to then target your thumbnail and possibly even your pricing. Because when people are looking, when you pop up on the screen as an impression and they're looking through, is your thumbnail stopping them, right? Is it making them want to click on you? Is your price making them want to click on you? Okay, these are all things that, you have to take into consideration. Is your title making them want to click on you, right? Because if when you're looking at the thumbnail before they click into your specific gig, that's what they're seeing. They're seeing a list on a page that's like 30 or 40 or so, however many on each page, right? So they're looking at these and they're scrolling through. Okay, does your gig have a video? Because does it have a video or not? So these are things that matter for clicks. So if you're not getting clicks, the likelihood is we need to work on what your thumbnails look like. They're not appealing to your audience to get them to click on you. It's not enticing. Remember, the crazy thing is that look at all the things that we have to do before someone actually listens to our demo. This is a good representation of what we have to do online anyways. Right? We have to take that in consideration. People have to do multiple things. They got to find you. They got to look at what you're doing. They got to be enticed to click on you. They got to click on you. Then when they click on you, finally they listen to you. Okay, so it's like the third or fourth thing on the list. So at this point, let's say you're getting clicks, but then let's say you're not getting any orders. All right, you're not getting enough orders. So at this point, that's when you have to look at your demo. That's when you have to say, okay, I'm not connecting with the buyers on Fiverr or the buyers in general for voiceover that they're looking for. And this is something that we don't talk a great deal about, but I think is so important. That is, it's important to have a wonderful and a well-produced demo. Yes, we all know, we all agree that's true. But it's not enough to just put up a well-produced demo. It needs to also be sellable. Does that make sense? People need to be looking to purchase what you are offering, meaning that maybe the type of demo you're putting up is not what people are looking for. So if you're finding that, you're getting impressions, you're getting clicks, okay, you're not getting orders, that's part of it. I will say, though, that on Fiverr, because they want to make money, they reward people who are making money. So it's like the chicken and the egg, right? You've got to make money also to be boosted and promoted higher in the rankings, but you need to be higher in the rankings in order to get the opportunities to make money. But so in this particular case, again, your demo is so vital to this. And without going too far down this rabbit hole, it's important to make sure that whether you do it yourself, you work with somebody like me to do your demo or someone else, that you make sure that what is being put in your demo and who the audience you're targeting, we usually don't think about that, but it's so important, right? Because, I mean, yeah, we could read all kinds of stuff, but if the people we're targeting, they don't connect with what we're offering, they're not going to buy from us. So it's going to be a bunch of kind of wasted time and money, even if you do fantastic. So that's the third part. If you're getting clicks, you're getting impressions, but you're not getting orders, we need to really take a hard look at your demo, take a hard look at what you're offering in your gig, what your description is. Are you inspiring people with your copy? You know, when we have the description section under your gigs and stuff, that copy is really important. It really is. We cannot overlook it. People are, especially people who want to spend a lot of money, they're not just going to blanketly purchase anything. They're going to look. They're going to make sure that the money they're spending is going to the right place. We want to make sure that we give those people a good reason to buy from us. That means all of our stuff is filled out. We have all 10 FAQs filled out. We've got a lot of the extras filled out. Our description, all 1,200 characters, is filled out. We're sharing what we've done, what we can do for them. Remember, they're Luke Skywalker, we're Yoda. That's the whole premise behind copy when I write. It's all about making them the star. So those three things are vital to start off with. But I want to give you another tip with that. And by the way, questions and whatever you have, please, feel free to post them in there as I'll go through, and I'll start from the top when I'm done with this. But the other thing that I'm noticing that I still see a lot of people not doing is posting enough gigs. One thing I love about Fiverr is that they don't stop you from just doing one gig, meaning that you can post multiple gigs. Now, this is another thing that I want to point out. If you start, like let's say you're a good soldier and you go on to Fiverr and you start to do research and you start to look at other people, and you notice a couple people who are at the top have one or two gigs, and you might be like, well, they only have one or two. Why should I do more? They seem like they're successful. I just want to point out that your path to success is going to be different than other people's. Some of those people who have those accounts where there's only one or two or so have been on there for a long time, and you don't know really how much work they're actually doing. But the key to bringing in more work is putting more lines in the water, right? Is putting more bait out there. When you're just starting out, you have 7 different gigs that you can put up. These are offerings, right? It's so important that you get them up and you make them specific. So we all have the regular one, which is our male voice or female voice. But then we also have the specified ones. And if you're looking for what gigs to create, I always suggest starting at the purposes, which are like categories, but they're the 9 purposes that are under voiceover that Fiverr has. And you can find that if you go to voiceover, go to the first tab, and it'll show you, what are the 9 purposes. These are like video narration, audiobook, podcast, dubbing and impersonation, phone system and IVR. What is the other ones? There's some, there's 9 of them altogether. Those are great places to start for you to create gigs off of. Does that make sense? So you want to have all 7. Most of the people I work with who say, hey, Anthony, how do I make more money? 95 to 96% of them don't even have all their gigs up. That's available. When you're level 1, when you're just starting, you have 7 available. When you go to level 1, you have 10 available. When you go to level 2, you have 20 available. And when you're a top-rated seller, you have 30 available. But like, for example, for me, I have 11 up right now. I could put more than that up, but I'm too busy. I don't want any more work. Okay, I've got so much other stuff going on that I can't take any more work from them. So I don't want to put up any more. Right? But if you want more work, put more up. Does that make sense? So if you make more money, actually use the platform to its fullest. Most of us, and I'll be the first to say that I feel like I use Fiverr in my business pretty fully right now, but I'm not even using Fiverr to the fullest. But I'm talking about, let's go into other sites, like on Upwork. Do you go on Upwork and have you filled out all the different profiles? You can fill out multiple profiles. You don't have to fill out just one voice, like as a voice talent. You can also fill out, like for e-learning, you can fill out one for podcast. Now, and I'm not talking about the new stuff that Upwork came out with. I'm talking about just in your profile. You can set up profiles with different videos, different options for all kinds of stuff. Voquint.com. Do you have all 30 samples up? Have you filled out all the profile information? People per hour. Have you put up as many videos on the profile as possible? Have you set up your different gigs that are offers? Because, people per hour is like a mix between Upwork and Fiverr. Have you done all of that? Have you submitted to different places like Voice Jungle and stuff? Have you, like there's all these things that most of us get on these sites, including me sometimes, because it takes time to fill everything out to really make it look good. But I can tell you this. I've actually got work on Fiverr from people who have found me on other sites, and then they came to Fiverr to work with me. And I don't charge. I charge a lot of times. I charge more in Fiverr than I do other places. So and I'm in a different place than you are, or other people are too. Some people charge more, some people charge less than me. But when I first started out, I was a lot lower, and now I'm a lot higher. But the point I'm trying to make to you is that it is so vital that you use the platform to its fullest if you want to make more money. If you're not making as much money as you want, take a step back, look at the platform, look at what you're offering, and say, do I have all of my gigs up? Have I filled everything out on my profile? Is it good? Ask yourself that. Would I buy from me? It's a good question. I don't know if you ever asked that, but would you buy from yourself? Would you look at your stuff and be like, that's not pretty good? I'm not saying we're being self-centered or something. I'm just saying, would you buy from yourself? And then also take a step back and say, okay, well, if I want more people to buy from me, what would be more enticing to them? What would I like to see? Or even better yet, what did you buy this week or this month online or something? Look at what you bought. How did you come to that conclusion? You needed something when you went. What did you look at? What stuck out to you? Do you know what I'm saying? These things will help you better look at the point that it's not about you and me. It's about the customer and what they want. So again, we're Yoda. They're Luke Skywalker. Now, this is a B2B business. It's not a B2C business. So clearly we're targeting businesses, not consumers. But in the end, it's all people. It's people. No matter what they're buying it for, it's still people. But there's a purpose there. So it's our job to figure out, what possibly the customers are coming. And that's a challenge in some senses because Fiverr markets to, we don't know who they're marketing to. But in general, we know their businesses, small businesses. Now they're becoming a lot larger, some of these businesses that are coming into Fiverr. But generally, they're smaller businesses, smaller video production companies, etc., e-learning companies who are looking, audiobook narrators who are looking to work with professionals. They're not people with, millions of dollars of budget for their marketing campaign. So that's important for us to wear. And then what are they looking to sell, et cetera, et cetera. So anyways, I hope that this kind of wraps your mind around what you can do just right off the bat to make some more money on Fiverr. Put some more offerings out there. Get some more stuff out there. Don't have one gig up. Have all 7. Have all 10. If you're at level 2 and you're not making all the money you want to make, then you need to put up 20 gigs. And you need to make sure that every single one of those gigs, there's no shortcut. No shortcut. Meaning there's not 8 FAQs, there's 10. Now you might say, Anthony, what is the point of having all 10? The whole point is that you filled everything out that you possibly can. You have done everything that you can. Until you have done everything that you can, that the platform has asked you to do or has allowed you to do, you won't know if you've reached the fullest extent of what you can get on that platform. Does that make sense? Until you do everything that you can do, you won't know if it's giving you everything it can give you at that moment. So don't shoot yourself in the foot by not doing all of the things that you need to do and then wonder, why am I not being more successful? Does that make sense? I hope it does. All right. I got to step off that pedestal. Listen, I hope that this gives you some ideas of what you can do to just start generating more business. And I talked a lot about today of simply just adding more stuff, adding specific things. If you notice, sites like Voquent, even Fiverr, even now Upwork. If you've seen the new stuff Upwork is dialing or sending out, I mean, it's scary how similar it is to Fiverr, right? Same thing with a lot of these other places that are popping up because they know the Fiverr model works. So a lot of these other sites, they're just emulating Fiverr. But places like Voquent, right, and Miles over in Voquent, I mean, they realize that, hey, people are looking for tones too, so they offer just samples instead of demos in the specific tone that you're looking for. But it's important, again, that you fill everything out. All right, let's go ahead and dive into who's here today. This is the time if you've got a question, comment, go ahead and post it in the chat, and we'll get to talking about it. All right, let's see. We've got Jeremy. What's up, my man? That's right. Happy Fiverr Friday. Don, it's good to have you. Charles, what's up? Oh, thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. Must Overcome, what's up? Got my first job on Fiverr 2 days ago, plus 5-star review. Congrats, my friend. That's awesome. Frank, happy Fiverr Friday. Sean, what's up? Hello, everyone. Finally down to 91 degrees. Oh, winter's here. Bless your heart. I'm just not a hot weather person. I love the cold and snow and everything. I love that. It's just something about it, But anyways, I know some people are hot weather people. Some people I like cold weather. So bless your heart. Okay, so let's see. Dana, happy Fiverr Friday. What's up? Good to have you. Flyer here. Eric, good to have you, my friend. Tips for making a lot of money. Lay it on me. That's good. Let's see. Hey, Anthony. What's up, Todd? Good to have you. Out of Work Professor. Hi, Anthony. Sometimes when I search Fiverr, I can't find myself at all. I use an incognito browser, specify United States, male, English, and click through all the results, and I'm nowhere. Why? Good question. So this is what I want to ask you. First off, do you have United States, male, and English in your title? Do you have United States, male, English in your description? Do you have United States, male, English in your tags? Do you have any of those in any of those places? You might have male somewhere. Maybe you have English. I don't know what you have. I don't know what your titles are, all right, for those things. But those are, when you United States too, that's interesting. I've not actually used that search title for any of my stuff or have it anywhere in my descriptions or anything, but that is interesting. I definitely want to check that out to see if people are searching for that. But I would ask you if you have any of those anywhere in your gigs, or do you have all three of those together? Now, if you don't, that's probably a big possible reason why you're not coming up. If you don't have that in your title, that could be why you're not coming up. If you do, so my recommendation is this. I would recommend that you go onto Fiverr and you take your title to your gig and you type that, you put that title in, even copy and paste it if you want. Put it in the search, then click the search button. You should come up. If you do not come up from your title, then I want you to contact Fiverr, send them a message and say, hey, listen, I've put in my by the way, this depends too on how long your gig. If you just put up a gig, sometimes it takes 24, 48 hours, sometimes a little longer for them to properly get you, properly get you indexed on the platform. But in general, you should be indexed pretty quickly. But I recommend you put in that title from your gig. And if you don't show up then, message Fiverr and ask them and say, hey, I'm not showing up. Could you reset my account or just, help me out why it's not showing up? Okay, but it could be that those terms are not terms. I don't even know. I would be interested if I put those in and I would show up. I don't know. I have male, but I don't have English and I don't have United States in anywhere in my stuff. So that's what I would look at. Good question. Sean, you are Yoda, my friend. That's right. And you all are the stars here. So remember that. Let's see. Is it? I just said that and I don't even know. It's a Crindus? I apologize. I screwed up the name. On the topic of demos, is it better to do something like 20 shorter samples of a few words, still 60 seconds in total, or 6 to 10 second segments? So in this particular case, I live by the 6 to 10 second segments. I really do enjoy those, but I think it's nice to vary. So, I know some people are trying to, some people put just one sample on their demo. Other people have shorter spots. Now, if you do 20 shorter samples, the only way you're going to get 20 shorter ones in my opinion, is if this is like a trailer or a tagline one or a quick radio spot type stuff or radio imaging. Like, there would be a place for that. But I'm not sure how you would get in 20 different shorter, like 20 samples that has any meat to it, right? Because remember, you want to try to get people to picture working with them and what your voice is going to sound like for those. So my recommendation is, if there was 20 shorter samples and it's what somebody wants to work with you with, that would be fine. But I don't think you're going to be able to get in and this is just me. I mean, I'm happily proven wrong by things, but that's a lot to get in 60 seconds. And then it also have enough time for me to just picture it in my mind about you would sound this way in a longer piece. Because normally people don't think about it. Even a 15 or 30 second spot, it's still 15 or 30 seconds. I mean, we usually don't have anything less than that unless it's a quick, radio, like a quick drop or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So that, I don't know. I would just be interested in what you're trying to accomplish with that. That's what I would look at. Like, what is the point of it? All right, Out of Work Professor. Second question. It's got some good questions today. Can you say hello, Out of Work Professor, in your best Hello Angela voice that you often use on Fiverr Fridays? Now, don't be weird. Don't be going weird on me, Out of Work Professor. All right? I will not do that. I'm sorry. Okay, Dinero Films. What kind of question is that? All right, Dinero Films. What is the name of that mic that you use? All right, this is the Electro Voice RE20. Okay, so this is the Electro Voice RE20. This is just what I use for my broadcasting here with you guys, though. I use in my booth the Sennheiser 416. Okay, that's what I use, the Sennheiser MKH 416. It's a shotgun microphone. That's what I use for my commercial voiceovers. I use this for broadcasting with you, as well as, I do audiobooks, sometimes my podcasts. Sometimes I'll stand up if I feel like standing up, but for most part, the longer stuff, I'll come and sit down and use this one if it's really long, But this is a dynamic microphone. All right, the one I use in my booth is a condenser microphone. Dynamic microphones are a little less sensitive. So if you have a space that's not as well treated, that maybe is a little bit louder and you can't control how loud it is, right? A dynamic microphone might be a little bit better for you, because the internal workings of that microphone, of a dynamic microphone, it's harder to get the signal, okay, through the magnetic field. I don't want to get too in depth with you. The magnetic field in your microphone. So that's why they're less sensitive. Okay, whereas a condenser microphone, there's only a diaphragm and a charge plate. So it's a lot more sensitive. Okay, so in that particular sense, I like dynamic microphones for spaces that you just can't really treat and get super quiet. Condenser microphones, I like, especially for voiceover too, though, because you're going to be able to have a larger frequency range. What that means basically is that there's going to be more range in your voice. So it's going to sound different. In some cases, you won't even be able to hit certain pitches in your voice with a dynamic microphone where you will in a condenser microphone. That's why a lot of singers professionally always use condenser microphones. But on stage, you'll notice there's dynamic microphones because of all the noise. So it boils down into your space and what you need it for. That was a long description for the fact that that's a RE20. And a similar microphone to this one is the SMB, the Shure SMB, 7B, excuse me. And they're comparable. This one's a little bit more expensive, but they're both pretty good. They're both great mics. And you can use it, but a lot of people use this mic for voiceover too. I mean, was telling you some of the ins and outs of dynamic versus condenser. Okay, let's see. Rob says, hello, what's up, Rob? Good to have you. All right, Louise. Hey, Louise, good to have you. It's good to have you. Crendis, I wish Washington was hotter all of the time. Okay. Trevor, what's up, dude? What's up, Trevor? Question about gig videos. Your gig has a static image in your video, but did you upload that as a video or just use a thumbnail and audio samples? Thank you, Trevor. So yes, my main gig does have a static thumbnail with the voiceover. I did make it a video in MP4. So it is an MP4. However, Fiverr did change it recently to where you can just upload a thumbnail and your audio, and they can still play. It used to be that if you didn't have a video, an MP4 file uploaded, then people had to click through your gig to get to your actual entire, like they had to click through your thumbnail to get to your gig and then play it when they were in your gig. Whereas everybody with a video, they could just hit the play button on the page with all the other thumbnails, which was a huge difference, right? Because it was more clicks and you know, all the stats you read or you see about people online, the more clicks they got to do, just the less likely you're going to get their business. So, but now they've changed that. I still think videos work better, but you know, if you don't have videos, then I like a good static picture, you know, something that wows people, and then put your demo on the back of it, make it an MP4. Now, some of my other stuff has a video, like my deep mail voiceover. I have a video that's like with my BMW commercial and stuff like that. So those are, you know, but my main gig is a static image. Most of mine are. I like it that way. I don't like to add, and that's just me. Other people like to add introductions with themselves in it. Other people like to do all kinds of other things. I just like to get right people in, you know, usually people take 1 to 3 seconds to listen to your gig. I want people to listen to my stuff right away. So, good question. Let's see. Derek. Hi, Anthony. Another great broadcast. Thank you. If you love cold and gray, we'd love to have you visit Ireland. Oh, oh my gosh. I want to go to Ireland so bad. I have to stop taking orders on Fiverr for 3 weeks. I've set my delivery to 14 days. Is that the best way to do it without affecting my search results? Thanks again. Yeah, Derek, I mean, I think in this particular case, since it's that long, I mean, no matter what you do, you know what I mean? I mean, you'll definitely, well, here's a perfect example. That's way better. I would rather you do that than do something like put it out of office. Don't do that. Or vacation mode. However, you know, if you don't get orders, it's still going to hurt you, right? But you might get orders. Just know that, you know, make sure that you still have your phone handy if you can. But yeah, that would be the best way to do it. That would be the best way to do it. Absolutely. I really do. I want to go to Ireland, and it looks so beautiful there. So yeah. Someday I'll look you up. Let's see. Dana, at what point do you actually get used to hearing your voice recorded? Seems to drive me nuts each time. I understand. Some people, I know some people, they can't stand it. I don't. I think the more and more you do it, you become aware of what is the sweet spot you're trying to go for. I don't know if anybody just likes to sit back and listen to themselves talk. I mean, I don't know if that's something that people do, but I do, you know, I do want to hear if I'm doing my voiceover correctly or not, you know, if I feel like it sounds good to me. So what I would say to you is it's not a matter whether you like to hear, because I mean, you know, it's not what I enjoy doing is sitting around listening to myself. But at the same time, I'm not weirded out by it anymore because I've done so much. So a lot of times it's because it's not normal that you're hearing it played back. And honestly, the way we hear ourselves talk in our ears, and there's been all these studies about this, right? The way it comes out of our mouth and also resonates, the way we hear our voice is not the way other people hear it. That's why when it comes out of speakers or monitors and stuff too, all right? And yes, mixing is important here, but it sounds weird to us. It doesn't sound normal because that's not what we're used to hearing. That's not how we hear it as we talk. So that's why it's weird to us. And, you know, it's like, oh, that's kind of not what I want to hear, right? So my recommendation to you is you got to just keep doing it, keep pushing forward. I do think it's a confidence thing. Do you know what I mean? I think it's a worry too that, I don't like the way it sounds. It's not right. I will tell you this. I do think that there does come a point where I'm not saying you have to like your voice or something, but I know for me, there are points that I hit when I'm doing a voiceover that I like the way it sounds. Do you know what I mean? So if you're in that place where you're not liking the way it sounds, it could be something that, you're working, you need to continue to work on your acting as well, because you might not be. But I think in the context, maybe in what you're saying, I don't think anybody that I know really likes to just sit around and listen to their voice. But I do have to listen back to what I do, and I'm not weirded out by it. I don't know if that's what you mean. So, but my recommendation is keep going after it, keep trying, you know what I mean, and it will get better. Let's see. Out of work, professor. I don't type those terms in freeform. I use them in the voiceover options. Okay. I should be searching the actual fields where it says your location, language, gender, etc. I don't type those terms in freeform. I use them in the voiceover options. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be square with you. I use them a lot in the context of looking what people might be searching for, but a lot of times I search in definitely the search box. That's what most people are going to search from. And then when they get there, they might start limiting it down. Now, if you're not coming up and stuff like that, again, but you have to realize, what do you have to do to get in those places? You still have Fiverr, like, for example, have you ever wondered why, if you do like your political, like if you have a political gig, you show up on the political page, or if you have another gig that has a keyword, you show up somewhere else in a different category, even. Like, perfect example, right? There's categories that people will show up in that's not the category they put down, but their keywords, are being searched in that category, so they show up. Do you see what I mean? So it doesn't always mean like it's not this hard thing, but like a hard line. So my recommendation again is if you don't have those entitles, if you can't find yourself when you're being searched, that's when if you can't find yourself when you're being searched through your title, that's when I would contact Fiverr. And sometimes it happened to me in the past. It doesn't happen to me anymore, but it happened to me a lot in the past where I did search for myself a lot. And that was part of me learning about Fiverr and learning how to use that platform, because I would put stuff in there and I would never find myself. And I was always angry about it. I'm like, why can't I find myself? This is why I'm not getting any business. I can't even find myself. All right. But as I went along, I realized what I was telling you today, your titles, your tags, all of that stuff really matters. So that's why I'm a firm believer in having them match up, because that's what I learned over years of trial and error. Let's see. Narrator Lou. Hello. Hi, Anthony. I have got to your 20th podcast. You got a long journey to go. Thank you. Motivating stuff. I'm feeling far less clueless. That's awesome. I think I did the 183rd one the other day. I won't spoil anything for you, Lou, but there's definitely, I love the podcast and the fact that it's such a recording of the journey. When I started the podcast, I have the goals on there, as you hear in the podcast, to go full time and everything. But what's cool is that you actually experience that throughout the entire podcast. And also, if you're in the beginning, the way as the podcast goes on, you'll notice I get more comfortable. And it's a perfect, I think, metaphor too for what we were talking about and what you were talking about. Who is it, Dana? About our voice. When I first started, I'll never forget my first podcast, and you'll listen to it. My first podcast, like, hi, this is Anthony. Welcome to VO's journey. It's probably because I was doing it like 2 or 3 in the morning. But it's like, today, I'm excited that we're here. Like, I sound like I'm a zombie, and then and then as I go on, I'm like, hello, welcome. Like, it's just a different feeling. Like it's like you shed inhibition the more you do something. Right, you're not as nervous about it. You enjoy it. It becomes a part of what you do. But when you're first starting, it's challenging. The more I do these videos and the more I do coaching, where I'm talking constantly into a microphone and presenting, the more you do, the more you become familiar at it, just like anything else. So yeah, definitely. Thank you so much for watching and listening to the podcast. I appreciate it. Let's see. It's Crendis. First I is silent. Okay, cool. Crendis, thank you. I appreciate that. Derek, let's see. Please do. What was the... If you love that cold and gray. Oh, yes. Louise says, I don't know how well those search boxes work. The other day I searched my usual keywords and then chose online sellers. And even though I was definitely online on my mobile and desktop, I suddenly was nowhere to be found. Yes, thank you for bringing that up. And I want to mention that if you guys are online and you're trying to find you being an online seller, that used to happen to me all the time too. I would be online. So what did I do? And I recommend the same thing. Fiverr is going to get like this huge influx of people. I bothered the snot out of Fiverr. I did. I was like, I don't understand. I would send them messages. Messages. I don't understand. I'm online here. I'm online there, but I can't find myself. I'm not coming up. Right. And I'm telling you, I wouldn't get anything per se back, but then all of a sudden I showed up. And then I would get this message saying, hey, well, we seem to be fine. Well, usually the default is check your browser. That's usually the default message back from them, check your browser. But usually what they do is they reset it or whatever they do, clear the cache or whatever they do in the back end seems to help. So I bothered Fiverr a lot when I was trying to figure this out. Why am I not coming up? Why am I not showing even if it's online when I'm online? Then I realized there was a difference, right, with then mobile and not mobile, what you see and what you don't see and what other people see, and the browser does make a difference. I mean, it all does make a difference. But like I said, if you're wondering, I would definitely contact Fiverr if you're not showing up and say, hey, listen, I'm not showing up. Can you help? I don't know what's going on. Did something happen to my gig? Okay. Just get them involved. I hope that helps. That's what I did. All right, you guys, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Great questions today. Real quick, if you don't know, we have a group called Fiverr Elite. Love this group. It's grown amazing. We have over 90 members now, and basically we meet on Mondays. We meet on Wednesdays and Saturdays. So we meet tomorrow, Saturday morning at 10 p.m. Eastern, and it's a bunch of like-minded people, whether you're just starting out on Fiverr, if you're brand new, up to top-rated sellers. We have many top-rated sellers in the group, and it's all about helping each other grow our businesses and, through statistics, through reviews, advice, marketing, etc. It's really a wonderful group. I'd love for you to join. There'll be a link below or one at the website if you're interested. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Again, subscribe to this channel. We are at over 2,000... we're almost to 2,300 subscribers. Thank you guys so much. This site's grown so much. I'll never forget when I was so thrilled to get a subscriber, which probably was like my mom or something when we first started. As your family always helps you out when you first start. But, it's so nice and I feel so blessed and thankful. So you guys have a wonderful weekend. Thank you so much. And always be safe and see you soon.